New figures given exclusively to Good Morning Britain reveal the City of London police have fined nearly 300 cyclists so far this year for riding through red lights, compared to just 25 drivers who were caught breaking the rules.
Well, let's see what happened when we joined authorities on the street as they warned and fined cyclists over obeying the rules of the road.
What we're seeing is many cyclists cutting through red lights. Even when you have got a sea of yellow police officers stood at the junction, they are still coming through the junction. So we're here today to try and keep everyone safe.
I feel just like an idiot, man. Like, I should be caring for myself because they're doing what I should be doing.
What colour are the lights there? Many people think it's okay to do it. They know they should be stopping, but there's almost this inherent thought process but it's okay to do it.
Certain lights, yeah, they should be respected when they're junctions, but one like this, I feel like it's stupid.
It's not okay to do it. You need to stop at red lights. It's as simple as that.
But is it as simple as that? More cyclists caught breaking the rules. Should there be a tougher deterrent to stop them? Donnachadh McCarthy is the co-founder of Stop Killing Cyclists. Says it's okay to run a red light. It can be safer for the cyclist. The City of London police are wasting their time on a minor issue. However, Ediz Mevlit is a cyclist. He's a former bus driver. He thinks these kind of incidents shouldn't go unnoticed and records them on his camera. And we can see cyclists going through red lights on his videos. Very good morning to you both. You both cycle, so you both know it is dangerous out there for cyclists. Donnachadh, it is also dangerous out there for pedestrians. And we saw one of the cyclists in the police video on his phone going through a red light. If I'm a pedestrian trying to cross that road, that is pretty scary.
I agree. What I think we should be looking at is proportionate, evidence-based policing. I think the police should police in accordance to the danger. Over the last 15 years, one person has been killed by a cyclist red light jumping. 75 people killed by cows, 700 people killed by drivers red light jumping, 24,000 people killed by drivers, and 250,000 kids injured, maimed, or killed by drivers.
So what should the police be doing with drivers there? Because they also stopped 25 drivers running red lights.
So red light jumping, but actually what they're not doing is the real danger by drivers. 30% of drivers use mobile phone.
Yeah.
50% of drivers break the speed limit. Now, which one is killing people? It's the phone and the speed is killing people.
So it's a waste of their time to focus on the cyclists. But Ediz, you don't agree.
I agree up to a point. Yeah. However, we just can't ignore red light jumping. So fundamentally, the new hierarchy on our roads, the most vulnerable person is a pedestrian.
Yeah.
Secondly, it's cyclists. We cannot ignore that. So my mum is disabled. Yeah. I've taken her out. We're crossing some red lights. A cyclist was just screaming past. It's unacceptable. We expect the drivers to stick to laws. I dislike close passes on our roads. Let's fine them. However, should we just ignore cyclists endangering pedestrians? I agree. Cyclists do kill less pedestrians, 100%. So last year in London, there was 10 fatalities, cyclists who died. One was hit by a car. One died due to a parked car. But we're looking at mainly HGVs, buses. So we need to be looking more into why are these deaths happening on our roads in London?
And usually it's because of speed. And actually, one of the things I think we should be doing, where we should treat cyclists the same as drivers, is speed limiters. I have an e-bike.
Right.
By law, I'm not allowed to cycle faster. It actually doesn't physically allow me to go faster than 15 miles per hour. Why can't we have compulsory, mandatory speed limiters for drivers? The European Union is bringing it that you have to have in your car, but you can turn it off. So what I should say, the law would, if we change that law and had enforced the same law for cyclists as we have for drivers, where we have mandatory speed limits, that would save a huge amount of lives.
I'm going to defend cyclists here, and actually I have to say I find this quite hard, because normally as a driver they really, really annoy me, and as a pedestrian when they cycle on the pavement, they really, really annoy me. But I think when you come to a red light, if you are on a bike, you think your biggest danger is cars crossing across you and being hit by a car, whereas if there is a red light and the green lights are on for the pedestrians, you think, well, this is safe for pedestrians to cross, probably also safe for cyclists to go through the junction when there's no cars moving.
It's so amazing to hear you say that. First time on TV, I think. Other countries, such as Germany, France, Belgium, and in America, Idaho, New Mexico, have said, if we require the cyclists to treat the red light as a yield right-of-way sign and actually allow them to go through when it's safe, but the safety of the pedestrian comes first, so the law still protects the pedestrian, they have found the amount of crashes go down. It helps protect cyclists and drivers and pedestrians.
Donnachadh, can I just ask, how does it protect the cyclist? And I appreciate your priority is protecting cyclists.
No, my priority is protecting all road users.
OK, but your point is that cars are much more dangerous, and they are particularly dangerous to cyclists, of course.
Yeah.
How does it protect a cyclist if they go through a red light thinking it's all clear, but a car comes across the junction?
It's that moment, though, when you have red lights on all the junctions and it's green lighted for pedestrians.
Yeah, of course, but the thing is that not all cyclists act in that way. They go through red lights. They don't care that it's green for the motorists crossing the junction. That car is then at risk of hitting the cyclist, and the cyclist is at risk.
That is dangerous cycling.
Yes.
That would still be illegal. That is still illegal in other countries.
And that's what the City of London is cracking down on.
No, what the City of London is cracking down on is something that's not killing anybody.
We need more enforcement.
They can crack down for the next 100 years. Not one pedestrian's life will be saved.
OK, but you might save a cyclist's life. Because if cyclists stop at red lights, they are not then at risk of being killed by a motorist going through the green light the other way.
The fascinating study is that when they did that study in London of women versus men, women obeyed the law more than men, and women got killed more. Why? Because they got crushed by HG drivers as they went round the corner whilst they waited for the red light.
Can I reply to that, please?
Yeah.
OK, only is 82% of fatalities on the UK roads are men.
No, but we're talking about cyclists.
Yeah, cyclists. 82% are females.
Women.
I just think if you stop at a red light as a cyclist, you probably are at less risk then of getting hit by a car going across the junction on the green light. But I appreciate the arguments, and there's plenty of data flying around. Thank you both very much
I'm
indeed.
still in shock for defending cyclists. We asked you if it's time to get tougher on cyclists running red lights. 95% said yes. 5% said no. So, Donnachadh, you lost that one.
I didn't expect to win it.
Well, thank you both very much indeed. Still to come,